and you don't let anything or anyone stand in your way or change how you feel about yourself. Even you. Hey, I am Sarah Hockett, and you are listening to the fEMPOWER podcast. I am here today to talk with you about what it means to be a fEMPOWERed woman. So this is a really important topic to me, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I think that this means a lot of things, and I think that it means something different for everyone. But I'm going to tell you what it means for me to be a fEMPOWERed woman. And I think there's a lot of aspects to this, so just bear with me if I get a little tangent-y. So, first of all, I think that the most important thing for me in being a fEMPOWERed woman is the absolute freedom that comes with living an authentic life. And I mean truly authentic in every aspect, because I've definitely been in positions over my lifetime where I show up in a mask. And I obviously don't mean the Scream mask from the old 90s movie with the hood and the scary looking face. I mean a mask that is one that makes me feel small. It doesn't feel like me. And it's only there to make other people more comfortable. Why? Why do so many of us do this? I mean, obviously there are some situations where it is necessary. Jobs and things that have certain expectations, but I'm kind of over it. I am completely over people and places and situations that require me to show up and be anyone other than 100% myself. I've been saying for years, the number one thing I want out of life is just the absolute freedom to be me. And that means a lot of things. That means I want to show up in whatever clothes I feel like that day, whatever day. And for me, that could be a whole lot of different things depending on the day. Maybe it's a cute little pink dress. Maybe it's a mesh top with skulls on it. You know, I could go either way. But I want to have the choice and say, this is how I feel today, and this is how I want to show up today, and this is me. I do not, ladies, want to put on khaki pants on any fucking day. I do not want to put on the khakis. Does anybody want to put on the khakis? I mean, maybe some people want to put on the khakis, and if you do, great, because hey, that's your authenticity. But for me, putting on khakis or just any business casual attire feels like a small death. And I know that just feels so dramatic, but you know, there were so many mornings that I would put on dress pants. And by the way, I'm 5'10". So finding dress pants that go all the way to my ankles in the first place is a challenge. And putting them on just feels gross. They don't look good. They're not flattering. They don't feel good. They're not comfortable. Why? Why do I have to wear this? Why? And you know, I'm super over the idea that you have to look or dress or speak or do any of these specific things, and those things suddenly make you a professional. Like, those things, if I want to have pink hair tomorrow, that doesn't change my skill set or my level of professionalism. I can be incredibly professional when I need to be, and I can do that with purple hair and jeans. So, anyway, that's definitely a big part for me. I recently went to a job that I'd had for just a few months, and this job required me to have a separate wardrobe. And why? Why does anybody want to have a job that has a separate wardrobe? Like, every morning, and I'm gonna be honest, I definitely gained a significant amount of weight over the last couple of years. So I had to buy specific clothes for this, and nothing looked flattering. So I didn't feel confident, and I didn't feel like myself. So anyway, I'll get off the topic of khakis. I don't know how I got here, but you get me. You get me. On a similar topic, I'm someone who likes to have experiments with my hair sometimes. I like to do different things because to me it's just hair. I am confident enough in myself to know that regardless of what my hair looks like, I'm still me. And, I told someone that a very long time ago when I had gone from very long hair to very short hair. And the same person, and I had dyed it a different color or something. And I was pretty young, and this was someone who was older than me. And he said, "Oh, well, dyeing your hair is a sign of insecurity." What? Where would you get such an idea? Like, here's the thing, I can dye, and this is what I told him, and I was probably only like in my early 20s, and I was like, I don't think that is accurate because I can dye my hair any color and I still feel very comfortable and confident because I know who I am, and my hair color doesn't change that. On a similar note, ladies, I want to tell you this. I like to have funky colored hair, and like I said, I don't think that makes me unprofessional. But also, I'm someone who I can let my hair grow very long because, I'm just sort of like, I don't want to have to deal with going to the salon. And then I would be like, ugh. One day I will wake up and say, I want to cut all of this off. All of it. Not a little bit. Not a trim. Not a couple inches. Just cut it all off. All of it. I want a pixie cut, or I want a chin length bob. Just cut it all off. And every time that I do this, first of all, I have so many salons that will not be excited to do this for me. Like, I'll come in with the long hair and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Here's a picture of me with a similar haircut. Can you just cut this off, please? And I always, and I guess I can understand it a little more from the salon professionals because I'm sure that there are people who have done such things and then immediately regretted it. But you know what? If you do go do something like that and you cut your hair off and you immediately regret it, that's fine. It was your decision, and hair grows back. It grows back, I promise. I know that it feels really awful. We've all been there. We've all had I think I want bangs today. And then you look in the mirror and say, what was I thinking? I didn't want bangs. This is terrible. I have to wait for it to grow out. But, we find the solutions to make it look okay in the meantime. But here's the thing that happens pretty much every time I cut my hair from long to short. Every time I will have at minimum, 2 women in my life say to me, oh my gosh, your hair looks so cute. I wish I could cut my hair off, but if I did, my husband would divorce me. What? I mean, seriously, what? My standard response to this always, because I've been getting this since I was like 18. If you are in a relationship where if you cut your hair, your husband says he will divorce you, girl, let him. That's all I have to say about that. If your husband, 1, thinks that he should be able to control your hair, and 2, thinks that this is a deal breaker, if this is a divorceable offense, it is time to throw the whole husband out. Just throw it out. Never look back. Seriously, if that is a deal breaker, if short hair is a deal breaker in your relationship, you need a better relationship. I mean, I hear all kinds of crazy things around different styles, and it bugs me because everybody should just be able to have their own damn style. Like, why should you care what someone else's style is? And I hear women do this too. Ladies, don't do that. If someone's style is different than yours, that just means they're different than you, and that is not bad. Different isn't bad. So, please remember that. Please remember that, and keep that in mind when you feel that little judgy bit come in. If you do, hopefully, if you're someone who's listening to the FEMPOWER podcast, I would hope that you're not someone who's going to judge another woman on what she's wearing. Another aspect to being a femme-powered woman is elevating other women. Guys, I really mean this. You cannot be a femme-powered woman if you're looking down on other women. You cannot be a femme-powered woman if you're standing idly by or actively participating in anything that oppresses. I kind of hate that word, but that's the only word I can think of in this moment. But in anything that oppresses another woman, because that's not very fempowered of you, right? I mean, if you are in a situation where you can help someone, you should do that. I have never understood this wacky level of female competition that exists in some women. I mean, I've definitely witnessed it firsthand, and I still never ever understand it. Like I've seen it in workplaces where you're on the same team. Why would you not encourage each other and lift each other up and, help each other be better and do the best that you can? Why? Why would you be thinking that you need to compete with each other? It's silly. So, I mean, and that's part of my goal, is to make sure that every woman who wants to be fempowered can be. And I think there's other aspects of that as well. I think that being a fempowered woman means that you have the courage, that you are not afraid to step into all of the things that you want out of this life. Being a fempowered woman means looking around at your life and evaluating the things that are within your control. Don't get me wrong, there are always going to be things outside of your control. And I've met people who don't believe this, but I'm recording this during the COVID-19 situation, and that's definitely something that's out of your control. But there are so many things in your life that are within your control. They might require a lot of work to change, but they can be changed. You can start small. But if something in your life that's within your control to change isn't working for you, isn't serving you, isn't making you happy, then you need to take that control and you need to change it. There's a certain amount of, of course you're allowed to vent, and of course you're allowed to feel frustrated. But, when you're in those situations, you also need to take action. So if you wake up every Monday morning and go, oh God, I have to go to this job and I hate it so much, what's your next step there? Is it update your resume and start looking? Like, do you need to get on Indeed or any of the other job sites? Do you want to go work for yourself? Do you want to start making a business plan? Do you have a particular skill that just lights you up, that you just think all the time, that would make me so freaking happy to be able to do that every single day? And if that's what you think, if you have one of those things in your life that you think would make you incredibly happy to do every day, why wouldn't you want to look into that? I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they said that they had a point in their past where this example is for someone who really wanted to be a detective. And they said, well, I didn't want to do the 8 years of having to be a cop before I got to be a detective. And then they said, but that was the silliest thing, because then I spent 8 years in jobs that I hated, and those were working towards nothing that I wanted. So that's the thing, folks. The time passes anyway. You may as well be using that time to take even the smallest steps towards something you really want. So if your job is not what you want to be doing, start taking steps. If you don't know what those steps look like, call me. I'll help you talk. I will help you talk through what those might be. And this goes for your environment as well. If you're looking around your environment and you're thinking, this is not what I want, and no matter what that is, everybody has a different, perfect, ideal environment, but you should try to be in the environment that lights you up. Is that possible to the fullest for every single person right this minute? Maybe not, but I think that's possible eventually for every single person, if that's something that's really important to you. So if you want to live in the city, or if you want to live in the country, or If you want a house or if you want an apartment or whatever it is that lights you up, again, just take the fem-powered action towards that thing. Environment's just such an important part of everything. And an environment can include more than just your house or your yard or your furnishings. It also includes people, and this is incredibly important because the people you surround yourself with can make all the difference in the world. If you are surrounding yourself with people who are not supporting you and who are not lifting you up, you need to find different people. Sometimes even people who mean well can kind of squash the things that can make us great. The people that say, "Oh, I wish you'd choose something more practical," they mean well, and that comes from a place of love. It does, but it's not always the thing that best serves us. So if you're looking around your people environment and you're seeing people who don't support the wonderful things that make you you, and if you're seeing people who actively discourage you from doing the things that make you you, dump those people right away. Get those people the hell out of there. If someone is telling you you can't do that, you are fem-powered enough to tell them where they can go, and it's far away from you. There are so many things in our life that are within our control, even if it doesn't seem like it. And that is a part of being a fem-powered woman, saying, I want this, and I'm going to get it. Don't expect it to happen overnight. But, if you're complaining about something that is changeable, but you're not taking any action to change it, do you really get to complain? It's like when someone gets voted into office, but you didn't vote. I don't think you get to complain when you didn't take a vote, right? So, being a fem-powered woman means a lot of things for me. And I think it means, it's again, back to where I started, I think it means something different for everyone. But for me, being a fem-powered woman means I get to live my most authentic life, free of fear of judgment, free from anything that makes me feel small, anything that makes me feel like I'm showing up in a way other than what aligns with my personality and my values. And being a fem-powered woman means being brave enough to make changes, to go after the things that I want, to lift up other women around me. And being a fem-powered woman just means that you are ready to do all of the things that light you up, and you do not need anyone else to validate that you're doing the right thing. It means you can make your own decisions regardless of outside influences. It means that those decisions you make are yours and yours alone. It means you are strong, you are powerful, you are brave, and you don't let anything or anyone stand in your way or change how you feel about yourself. Even you. Because let's face it, a lot of times we are our own worst critic. And we'll talk about imposter syndrome and things like that in future episodes. But if you ever hear that little voice that says, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you don't belong here, you are fem-powered enough to say, no, that's wrong. I can do it. I will do it. And I am enough.